Hi guys, how are you this morning? You know that this is Debbie with Wrestling in 60 Seconds. You know that I normally don't do a lot of live streaming stuff, and I just kind of wanted to jump in here today and talk about a couple of things. One, I'm still bugging about Brooks Jensen because I found out over the weekend that he showed up at an indie show to wrestle. Now, I don't have to tell you guys. You know that you don't see WWE talent go to other places normally and wrestle, and especially a small indies. Now, could it be true that he has been let go? I don't know. This storyline is so puzzling to me because, like, why in the world didn't WWE show that footage when he was, yelling at Booker T and he was yelling at Big Vic and he was pounding his fist on the commentator's table on Tuesday night during a major commercial break. And of course, like I said on my blogs, that, security had to take him out. And then for the next day, he gets on X and he says that WWE had kicked him out of the Performance Center and that they took all his social media away, his accounts. But yet he's on X, and in the background, he has Joe Henry's video. I believe in Joe Henry without audio. And then for this weekend, he's showing up at a very small indie wrestling that has maybe, and I mean on a good count, would be maybe less than 100 people there. It just doesn't make sense. If this is actually a storyline that they're trying to intertwine with TNA, or is this actually happened and they've let him go? The other news that I broke, I don't know if you guys have had the chance to see it, is Ricochet has claimed that when his contract is coming up, that he's not going to re-sign with WWE. I don't know if they've offered him a contract yet, but he's leaving. He's already stated this because he feels like he's been underused. And who agrees with me about Ricochet being underused in WWE? The good question would be, I wonder, since Samantha Irving and Ricochet are engaged, will she follow him over to wherever wrestling he goes? Will she leave WWE? I don't know. I mean, there are all kinds of possibilities, Oh, Baller Crew, thank you for telling me to have a good day. I appreciate that. We are doing the watch along at Dave and Buster's. Today is a big day for NXT, and guys, that we are huge NXT fans. Hi, more. So I'm anxious because, here's my thoughts when I did the whole thing about NXT, and let me get my notes here, with the Uber family, Wesley and Joe Coffey. Thank you for wishing me to have a great day. What if Zachary Wentz shows up at that match and helps Wesley win his title back? They're doing this whole TNA thing, and they haven't said who is going to show up in TNA on NXT tonight. And of course, we have the TNA all against all odds next week, where you don't know who's going to show up there. I mean, we are in actually the best times when it comes to wrestling. Does anybody have any wrestling questions for me? I know that technically, I don't know if you guys have heard this or not, but technically Roxanne is supposed to lose tonight to Jordan Lynn Grace. And then Roxanne's going to show up at TNA at Against All Odds. And I hope that's not a spoiler alert for you guys. Oh, well, thank you, Watermelon Cat. Um, let's see. What else have... Oh, I will tell you that when we were at the Performance Center, you know that we're at the Performance Center every week. I was surprised that during the commercial break that the crowd started singing I Believe in Joe Henry. Yeah, that was kind of interesting, and I just like kind of turned my head. I kind of expected him to pop out, but he wasn't there. Anyway, well, any predictions, you guys, for the pay-per-view? Well, that is a great question for Ronnie Garvin. We actually met Ronnie Garvin back in his heyday. And I was surprised that it's been like 18 or 20 years since he won he was indicted into the Hall of Fame. CEO. Oh, wow. That's funny. Am I a man or a woman? I'm female. Born female. Yes. But this is not that kind of channel. This is all about wrestling. And if you know me and how I cover wrestling, you wouldn't ask that. Anyway, getting back to Mercedes Moné. Wow. I'm a big fan of hers. I love Okada. I love Will Ospreay. I watched AAA. We watched New Japan. We watched probably 30 to 40 hours of wrestling, plus going to live events. And of course, we get the press releases and all that good stuff from the major wrestling companies and MLW and TNA. I hope that answers some of your questions. Let's see. Also, I think, I keep forgetting that Forbidden Door is at the end of this month. I mean, we are just kind of like weeks away. And then, of course, we have next weekend Clash of the Clash at the Castle. My big thing is that I don't know about you guys, and this is good something to talk about, is that with pay-per-views overseas, how do you like them being on so early in the morning? I'm not a big fan of that, because, it takes up, by the time you do the pre-show and you do 4 hours of wrestling and you get done at 5 or 6, you're like, wow. And then you have, you're doing... Oh, well, in case you didn't know, I have an X account that all of our live events that we go to, including our NXT, I take pictures and load them up, all the live events and stuff like this. So you may want to check out my Twitter account for our live events, especially on Tuesday nights. Anyway, this has been fun. Sorry that you got any news on Keith Lee. Thanks for the question. I hear that he is supposed to show back up in WWE. I hope not. Because, the fact that they made him Bearcat Lee, that they should have left him the way he was. When you stop and think about the amazing matches that Keith Lee and Dijak had, not only at the PC, but how about on pay-per-views? And who can forget when Dijak picked up Keith Lee and Dijak's knee just gave out on him and he fell. Well, I am a successful person in life, but thank you anyway. anyway, getting back to what I was saying about Keith Lee. Yeah, so I hear that he's going back to WWE, but it's going to be interesting to see what Natalya does because her contract is coming up. She hasn't signed with WWE yet, and they are supposedly going to offer her a contract that she'll finish up her career. But, you have to ask, she's been losing so much here lately. I mean, it's not fair to her. I personally would love to see her go to AEW and do the Owen Hart tournament. I mean, especially that's her family, right? So why wouldn't she want to do something for her family? We have met Natalya. Natalya is great. We've met Wesley. We've met Dijak. We've met Josh Briggs, Fallon Henley. We've met some of the new talent. If you haven't seen it on Roku, it's free. The WWE New Recruits. We've met BJ Sexy Ray, and we've met someone else, which I'm bad because I can't remember his name. Will Benjamin and Gable reunite? It's interesting that you say that because I hear inside word that AEW insiders are asking Tony Khan to sign Chad Gable. Now, I don't know what they could do with Chad Gable. He's been in that character for so long, and even though he's done like the heel turn, what could AEW do to change that persona or whatever? I don't know. What are your thoughts? What do you what would you like to see Gable and Benjamin back together, reunite? I don't know. I think he needs something to do. Oh, you would? Okay. I just think that he needs something to boost his character. It's kind of like, here's a perfect example of that. Brian Pillman Jr., when he was in AEW and he was with his,